My man,
What's up? Boy, I
what
gotta duck a little bit.
what are you like? Are you hiding behind the shades of the hotel room? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed. No, I'm just actually in my bedroom, not in the office now. So I just, you know,
All right, all
it's like a
right,
corner. This is like my corner office in my bedroom.
all right. Well, that works. What's going on, man? What is the office being monopolized by the 19 members of your family? Is that what's going on?
Almost, I wish. No, actually, I just opened up my physical space again last week.
Hmm.
The original gym I was in closed due to COVID last year, and then the owner bought essentially the same space from the new owners. So then I moved into a room. My room is ready, the gym is not, and they were due for a roof repair. They are repairing the roof all week, which I found out after I scheduled patients. So that's been kind of loud in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm back to seeing physical patients again. Before I was doing like concierge for the past year and like virtual,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't too hard to switch to virtual. What are you up to? You're in Florida now. When did you move to Florida?
We moved officially because it's obviously everything that I do is a long story. We moved officially in April,
Okay.
but we had bought the house that we don't live in back in February of the previous year, so before the lockdown,
Oh, all right.
and
Oh, so
and
you're
then
thinking of moving to Florida before all this?
oh yeah, this yeah, we didn't move because of the lockdown,
Yeah.
and basically the lockdown came, and then I think within the span of 4 days was supposed to be the wedding, closing, and taxes. It was all within 4 days. So as a
Nothing like a little
prop,
stress, right?
so I mean the wedding, all right, that got scrapped. So now we're like 3 weeks out, or like a little over 3 weeks now.
Are you getting
To
married in 3 weeks?
Well, again, to make a simple question complicated, we're already married because we got married before the lockdown. Like we just did a
Okay.
thing at the beach, just Allie and I and a justice of the peace. Um, so because we were getting married in New Jersey, but not like where I'm from, and it just would have been a hassle to do all the paperwork and whatever. So it would have been relative, like it would have been still a ceremony and everything, and there'll be a ceremony in August, but we're already married, like officially, legally. So
Yeah, yeah. We did a similar thing. I did a similar thing when my wife graduated from PT school. Our immigration lawyer basically said, if you love her, you should probably marry her soon.
oh,
Because it's
like
either
the rules were going to be because then she wasn't going to be a student anymore.
right, right, yes, because
Ah,
it's either she works, she lives here and isn't married, or she goes back to Canada and can't work here, or she works here for like until her visa runs out. I don't know. There's
yeah,
like
yeah.
three scenarios. So the easiest one was just like to get married a year earlier and then keep her in the country, and she gets to keep her job.
But what about like you could do like 90 Day Fiance, like that show on it's one of the
Yeah,
few shows.
well, I
I'll
mean,
sit there and watch that. And I'll yell at the
right, yeah.
screen a couple times.
If we were married during that time and they would just take anyone, it was like before reality TV was even a thing, I think, when we got married.
Have
So
you seen that show?
no.
It's disgraceful. It's
Right, exactly. Why would I
unbelievable.
watch that? People are like,
No,
why did I tune into
because
this?
if the purpose and here's a little introspective statement. If the purpose of entertainment is to create emotion, you damn sure better believe that that show creates great emotion in terms of anger, frustration, and grand yelling at the
Right.
screen. It is
Yeah, yeah. I'm
unbelievable.
sure that's not I'm sure that's not what they're going for, which is exactly
No,
why I don't
no,
watch it.
I bet they are going for that
Well, maybe they are
because
going. Well, right.
I
Yeah.
don't
I
I
mean, it
don't
gets
tune
you
in.
know what? It gets people talking, right?
Yeah,
People are
I
thinking
don't
the
tune
same thing
in.
about this live stream.
Well,
Like they're like
that could
they're like
possibly be.
I'm looking for knowledge bombs, and these guys are just like literally catching up.
And I think
The only thing we planned was not planning anything,
yeah, and this way
and
we haven't even and people don't even know what it is yet. So we don't say it.
and catching up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think at some point the nature of the conversation will certainly skew towards some clinical discussions. I don't think anyone will be disappointed. However, I have found that
Someone just said you love 90 Day Fiance.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Allie. That's my wife.
Oh.
So the yeah, she'll watch it or used to watch it, and then I won't demand that it be turned off because it's just unbelievable. I don't understand.
Because you're
Uh,
married.
but that's what these people are. Like they don't get it. Like this is so crazy. These people, and it's and that. So when I say I was on a reality show, it's nothing that anyone ever heard of, and but
Oh,
the
you
first
were on a reality show.
yeah, yeah, like not like a main character. No, nobody was a main character on my
Yeah.
team. But like the first year of the D League, now it's the G League. Maybe close to you is the Erie team. And now it's really what it was meant to be, which is a true minor league of the NBA, where each team almost has a relationship. Almost, I think they're almost at 100%, where each team has a relationship with the minor league team. So the players, there's rules and everything. Anyway, that league did not look like what it did today. When I was there the very first year in 2001, it was called the D League. And the reality show that ESPN, because the games were on ESPN, and ESPN had a reality show where they followed all the teams, and it was called Down Low in the D League. So we had the cameras there all the time. That we just weren't the main team. The main team that they trumped it up and gave all the best players to was the North Charleston team. And shockingly they won the championship. I can't believe it. Yeah, and they were like they had the main characters, but of course we every team kind of got at least one or two episodes that was like made for them.
Okay,
So
so you weren't on B-roll for the D team.
no, there was a couple episodes, but no one can find it. Actually, it's interesting that nowhere on the internet do these episodes exist unless somebody actually has copies of them.
That's pretty
So
crazy because you can find a lot of things on
right, it's very
YouTube, like
interesting that
really
you can't
old
find it.
footage. Yeah.
There's one time me and Jeff Malone was the head coach, and he and I were very close at the time. We were talking about, let's just call it topics that two men working in professional sports would be talking about at that time. And the next thing you know, you kind of notice like this, like almost like you would think it'd be like a bug or like something over your head. They filmed and recorded the entire discussion of topics that pretty sure were not very becoming to be talking about in public. And
Yeah.
they're like, no,
And
no,
this was
keep
back
talking.
this was back then too, right?
Oh, it didn't. I mean, it wasn't personal. It's just, I'm sorry
Right, yeah.
that, my mom probably wouldn't want to hear me say on national TV. And then they're like, no, keep talking, keep talking. I'm like, no, we're not going to. Jeff, shut up. We're not going to keep talking. Hell with them. And they're like you. And like we turned around to the people carrying the boom, which we had no idea, and because they were like maybe 4 or 5 rows up from us. And they like point across to the other side of the stadium because we were having a practice or a shoot around in the stadium. And like you could see one person sitting there with a camera that probably had some kind of mega zoom. That he had no idea that we were being watched. The other thing I remember too is like when the shows did come on, they would stream the events to make it look chronological, but it wasn't even close. Like something
Is that like part of your contract or something that you signed that you can actually be recorded without being notified because you're technically being recorded all the time?
Yes, I'm sure that was part of the deal. In fact, that's true of any time you're in pro sport. Like you're
a public figure.
Your likeness is owned for the purpose of certain things. I imagine they can't do everything, but they would stream things together that you would be watching, and they would really make it look like it was chronological, except like two seemingly related events literally were 2 months apart, and you would have no idea. So when I watch these,
and if you're like me and you wear the same stuff all the time, it probably looks like it was.
Well, we're all wearing the same stuff all the time because that's also part of it. Yeah, these are what you get what we're given, and you kind of have to wear it. If you didn't wear it, you'd be like in violation. So. Which is good. I think wearing a uniform is a good thing. It creates standardization and discipline. I don't think anybody complains about that, especially when it's free. I'm not sure I've paid for clothes in a long time, unless
I
it's,
know, geez, like
yeah,
last time, yeah, you were like last time. I think the last time I actually saw you in person, you were down here teaching at a Pops in Buffalo. You didn't
yeah,
realize it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
pop. You didn't realize it was a Pops until like you were there. Because I remember
Well,
thinking like, what,
let's
dude,
talk
why are you
about that. Let's
teaching?
talk about
Like,
that.
why
Let's
are you
say,
teaching here? And then yeah, but you were like getting on my back about not being sponsored, or like, yo, you're like, I was wearing like Adidas pants or something. I was like, well, I don't get my clothes for free.
well, so the last time that was a long time ago.
It was. It
That was
was.
I don't even know, 2015. It couldn't have been. It was
No,
probably
I mean, I feel like God,
14.
my clinic was just getting off the ground back when I was like taking insurance and I was in a clinic instead of a
Oh
gym.
my
And
God! Like taking
then,
insurance and paying for clothes. What
I know, my
the?
gosh. Jeez.
So whatever it
I was a
was,
plebe.
um,
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
yeah, whatever it was, and you were kind enough to come, and you had you presented a little bit of stuff that was relevant to what we were doing, and I just I think the
You like
whoever
this
owned
shirt? Thanks, man.
what who somebody said this.
One movement for change.
The it is a very cool shirt.
It's for sale.
Yeah, the I imagine the fellow that put it all together. He was probably into it. He thought that this was going to be good information, and
Yeah.
those they were not. They had no interest in what we were trying to say. They had no interest in what I wanted to say. They had no interest in what you wanted to say.
Especially
I
when
rem-
I wanted. Yeah. Well, I mean, I often find that when I like whoever I assist, I've assisted you, I've assisted Chris Johnson. I find that whenever I end up assisting, whoever like wants to take a break and feels like I have something valuable to say, they're courteous enough to give me like 10, 15 minutes while they, drink water and whatever, go to the bathroom. And all I can feel, I always feel like people are like, why is the cameraman talking?
No,
Or
but
like, what?
I don't
But
think you.
I wasn't shooting
I
your
think you
course.
had. I think you had much more than 15 minutes, and I'm sure it was
Right.
relevant. And if anybody in the room was interested in seeing, it was me. Um, that's actually, as the years have gone on, and because probably part of it is I, similar to you, don't have this certification. The course is probably a little bit different every single
It's
time.
different every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't, it had nothing to do with the pandemic. It started a little bit before that, where I don't want to compete with this foolishness, of just show me what to do and I'll do it. And I'm like, that's one of the absolute like diametric principles. Like uh, there
Well,
is no way to
yeah.
do that. Like
I mean,
there's a way
we
to
could,
start the thought process.
right.
There's a system, like you. I probably would be. I would begin my thought process the same way every single time. But then as it kind of falls down, and I describe it like, remember in when you had a snow day, and the game shows were on at like 10 and 11 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock the Price is Right came on, and there was a game called, listen.
I think I remember that. I don't know if most of our audience remembers that, but I
Everyone remembers. Don't worry.
okay.
The price is wrong, Bob. And there was a game called Plinko. Remember Plinko,
Oh
where you
yeah, it was like
stand
my
at the
favorite
top.
one. Plinko's my favorite
Why
one.
am I bringing it up?
I don't know actually.
So you drop the thing, and it
Oh,
goes in all
like your
these.
decision making process because you
Yes, it's
started the
never the
same.
same.
Right, right, yes.
Or you know what? Sometimes you'll hedge and you start all the way over here, and then you drop it, and it goes in all these different ways, and you would never know where it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go find on YouTube and knock it off, and post
Plinko,
it.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a gift to represent even this conversation.
But
Uh,
I don't even remember what that group was into. I remember
Gary Gray.
seeing, yeah, I remember seeing that Matrix thing, and
Yeah.
as we have discussed, I would prefer to not hear Gary Gray's voice, but a lot of the methods and things still hold some significant value, and I'm really
Right.
glad. I'm glad that his students over the years, now decades, have reinterpreted those messages in ways that are far less ridiculous and far less offensive.
Yeah.
But but
You
at
know,
that time, if you're into that, you're not going to be into what I'm saying because you're so
right,
stuck in Muppet
right.
Show.
Well, it has to be done a certain way, and I think it's really hard because my audience, like your audience, is not it's not someone who needs a cookbook.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there are people out there who absolutely need a cookbook, and I cannot provide that for people. You
No,
know,
I don't.
like
Yeah, that's why I got out of it. I don't know. Like, if you ask me a question, I might have to ask you five more before I can begin to even feel safe and ethical giving you an answer. And I think the other thing with that model, I'm done saying his name, is they like a lot of models today will go out of their way to, whether they're right or not, disparage other models. So you only consume their model. And
right.
I probably made some of those mistakes, even though I would like to think that what I was saying was really just meant to grab you by the jacket and shake you up a little bit. I believed what I was saying, and it wasn't so you bought my thing because I don't have a thing to buy. But
Well, you
it
don't.
was, well, you have a bunch of things to buy, like that T-shirt for $14.95, right?
Yes, it's the Captain Eclectic T-shirt, and yes, I did. Captain America was always my favorite superhero growing up, and I love the MCU, and I love what they've done with it. And I love
Yes,
the Shield version of his shirt. So yeah, did I take my logo, which I wear all the time, and make a Captain America shirt out of it? Yes, I did.
yes, no question, no question. In
Yeah.
fact,
Charlie's the only one who actually ever said on social media, "That's a nice shirt." And I'm like, man, I'm waiting for someone to say this is a nice shirt because, like, I think it's a nice shirt. I mean, my
yeah,
brothers have said it's a nice shirt, but when I started finally teaching live again this year, I'm like, I'm gonna wear my new shirts
okay, all right. Well,
because like I had like 30 versions of my old shirts that I've been wearing for the past year, and people like Chris Johnson again is like, Erson, get a new shirt, or like I was teaching some place where the air conditioning was broke, and I went like this because I was doing overhead work stuff, and then they're like, "Oh man, Erson, get a new shirt." I'm like, I actually have like 100 versions of this shirt. I don't wear the same like two shirts, but now
yeah,
I have like a bunch of versions of this shirt.
but when I saw that,
It's clearly right.
that clearly looks like something
Well,
Captain America-ish.
I mean, these movies make $1 billion, but apparently not everyone watches them.
Well, the I had I had one of my guys in my Fort Lauderdale office today, and he was asking me some questions because obviously we know that I am somewhat associated with some of said actors that play in all of the different comic book universes. And one of the things that because we were talking about sports, and it's like so we talked about Ryan Reynolds, and he was Ryan Reynolds like yelled. They were it was that when they were deciding who was going to play Cable in Deadpool, and
That's a
I
pretty good
think
choice. I liked Josh
well
Brolin.
well
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
it might be. Well, I don't know
I
if I ever
remember seeing
told you.
something on your social media about this.
Oh, I don't know. I doubt it because I don't usually talk about these things. But
Or maybe, oh wait, maybe it was private. Maybe it was just to me.
well, it's about to go public because it's funny, and
Yeah,
it's more about me than it is about Ryan or anybody else. But and I think it was public that the Cable role came down to Josh Brolin, who I have worked with also, Michael Shannon, who was Zod in Superman,
yeah,
and Ryan, who doesn't have full say, even though he's the producer. He wanted David Harbour, who again also closely affiliated with, and that was before he got.
Red
Um,
Guardian. Yeah, I didn't see Black.
no, way before Red
Okay,
Guardian.
because
He
I didn't
got
see Black Widow, so don't say anything.
no. This is nothing to do with Black Widow. What
All
was
right.
Hellboy? He got like that. That movie didn't
David
do
Harbour
very
was in
well.
Hellboy. Oh, was he like the new Hellboy?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because I always just
So
think of him as Stranger Things. Like,
right, that's how everybody
yeah,
would know him. But he not getting Cable put him into Hellboy, which was really exciting. And unfortunately, that movie didn't do very well. So I'm telling Ryan, I'm like, dude, like you can't have So I was already advocating for David Harbour because at that point he was not a superhero yet. And I'm like, Ryan, listen, you can't do this. Like Michael Shannon was Zod. Like it's not even the same. And then if you have Josh Brolin do it, How are you ever going to have Cable and
Whoa, whoa,
Thanos in the
whoa,
same?
whoa, whoa. You told Ryan Reynolds, who is also Green Lantern,
Wait,
that.
wait.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay, okay.
and
Because
and
like
I'm
there's an irony to this
yeah,
here.
aside from and I'm like, you can't, like, how can you have, but it's very reasonable that Thanos and Cable would be in the same room at some point. Like that can
Yes.
happen. That can
Yes.
happen.
That can happen. Yeah.
And
It
and
could.
and then I can't do his voice because it's so iconic. And he's like, Charlie, if we effing did what you wanted, we would never have any actors left if you didn't let this happen. So the reality, like what I think you're talking about, in terms of Ryan playing Green Lantern, we don't talk about that because, and I
No, I
haven't seen
know. I
I
know.
haven't seen Ryan in a long time. There's a couple
Or the
things.
old Deadpool, right? Like the stitched mouth Deadpool.
Oh my God, yeah, Wade. It
Yeah.
was, he
Yeah.
the well he that's in Deadpool, like he
And I
like the
know he
little
killed
toy.
it.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
the
Right.
there's one of the things we also talked about today was another NFL player that earlier in his career got in a little trouble, and he has people are so wrong about how they perceive him. So there's three things you never do. You never ask Chris Webber about the timeout. No one ever had to tell me, hey, Charlie, come here, young fella. Don't ask Chris Webber about the timeout. So, number two, don't ever ask the big guy about stepping on Aaron Rodgers. And then don't ever ask Ryan Reynolds about Green Lantern because
Yeah.
he would go, he's like, I said, what happened? He's like, they wrote the script. I'm sorry, no, they put out the movie poster before there was even a script. Like it was a complete disaster. And I'm like, yo, it wasn't that bad. And it's
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
yeah,
it
it was.
wasn't terrible. It was
Yeah, like you got to
like
watch it
as
like
good as like
seven
the
times.
original like, or not the original Fantastic Fours, but like the Jessica Alba Fantastic Fours with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. Like they weren't bad, but they just weren't like up to today's standards.
Yeah, well, look, when you talk about Green Lantern, the movie, I used the term Muppets earlier. Like Parallax is not this cloud Muppet. Like this is not. It's like whose idea was this that to have them in a Matchbox car in some kind of roller coaster in somebody's backyard. Somebody said, dude, this movie is gonna be awesome. Like, yes, that, like, no, who said that? Like, who
Yeah, like
watched
so
this?
I don't know who comes up with these ideas, but yeah, that was before real passionate people actually started making these movies or anyone who's actually read the comic books or anything. You know me, I'm not the biggest DC fan. I've always been a Marvel fan, but I've always liked the comic books and I liked like the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, so I know like
Yeah, yeah.
a
Well,
lot of the popular storylines, but I've always been a Marvel fan.
I am much more. I'm much more read in DC than Marvel, which helps me a little bit with the movies because I don't get offended when they deviate from the comics. So
Yeah.
here's one for you. Liev Schreiber. So after a couple of times, working with him, everything would, you get comfortable enough because he's kind of as advertised. His voice is. I knew he was calling me, and I remember exactly where I was in Vegas, and it reads 914, so it's going to be New York, and it's him, and it's like, oh my God, like. And this was like when I first got to New York. He might have been one of the first celebrities to actually talk on the phone, not the first ones that I saw. So took a couple sessions to feel connected. And I said to him, I slapped him on his leg. I'm like, all right, man, everybody knows you and Wolverine are not brothers. Explain what's going on here. So here's what he said, and it's not what you think. The first one would be what you think. He's like, look, first of all, it's the director gets to decide. Like they don't want to do
Did they
what
make them
somebody.
brothers in the movie?
Oh my God, yeah, that people
I don't
hated it.
remember that. Yeah, I don't remember
People
that.
hated that they were brothers because
Yeah.
they're not brothers. And he says that, look, the reality, I said, like, these comics last for like decades. Like, why wouldn't you just do the story? Because that would be a cartoon. Like, if they just wanted to do the same story, they wouldn't hire real actors. So when they hire real actors, everyone contributes. Everybody has like a say to a degree if you're like an experienced actor. He's like, here's the real reason. When you're looking at a comic book, opening the comic book, you're looking at 2 pages. You might actually see 4 or 5 different physical locations on 2 pages, just the way comics are written. And you can focus on all of these things that are all happening at exactly the same time. He's like, there is no way that that translates to to a movie or to a video experience. He said in the television show 24, I forget the actor's name, but it's kind of like CIA kind of movie
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
the screen would
Yeah,
be
they
cut.
like they have like they cut all those things and like have there's like so many different boxes and they're
Yeah,
all
he's like,
doing something. Yeah.
yeah, but it's all happening at that moment over the
Right.
course of 24 hours. He's like, that's the only time it's ever worked. If you go back to the Incredible Hulk, where Eric Bana Eric Bana, Bana, was Banner. They tried to do it and it was awful because you can't focus on multiple things. Because in a comic book, and he's explaining this to me right now, Liev Schreiber in his voice, he's explaining this to me where it's like, he's like, you can stop. And then if you're not clear on what's happening, you can turn the page back 3 times and see another 5 things that happen and then roll back. You can't do that. You can't rewind, the movie while you're watching it. So he's like, the stories have to be rewritten to be a little bit more linear in the chronology. Like you can't have a ton of things happening at the same time. Like
I think that's
you
interesting, but I still don't see
yeah,
why they made him his brother. I mean, that's not like saying like that would
yeah,
have to be presented
yeah.
chronologically or I
He
mean,
said
that's
the
just
same
like
thing. He
yeah,
said
yeah.
that. He was like, he's like, look, the actual story, like, but the reality of why the comic books have to be different is because of like how you focus on
Yeah.
information on different mediums. So
Yeah,
I
I
thought
get
that
that,
was
but I mean,
interesting.
growing up, before they even ever revealed anything about them not being related, it just seemed like he was either his brother or his father, even because you just don't know. They both are extremely long-lived. I mean, and he always called him Runt, so
Well,
it seemed like they were related, even in the comic
there
books
is
before they.
I think there is a Marvel story that Liev wanted to do because of how that first Wolverine movie was not well received. He wanted to go back and get the he wanted to go into Weapon X, which I think he does do during the comics, and that would explain why he was the type of saber tooth, which was like this just this animal, couldn't talk or anything, so that he would come back and that would explain why it would be like a prequel to that, and that but they never. He said the
Yeah,
only way he was. I think I think these actors they when things don't go well, just like I don't know me, when things don't go well, you get pissed. Like you get mad and you don't ever, like I am never going back to that. I am never talking to that person ever again. Like it's
yeah, I get that way
uh
about like bad service at a business or a restaurant or something.
yeah. Well, you should. I mean that's a whole other issue. Bad service is like easy to. There's no
Right,
reason why you can't. Why couldn't they just do this? They just don't care. I mean, you can't.
right, exactly. Yeah,
Anyway. Hey, so you said you're back in business. You're seeing people in person.
I am now
What are you going to get up to?
again.
Like five people a week, 6 people a week? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I will share live how many people, what my metric is, but I know I've told you before in the past.
All right. Well,
Yeah, and I've gotten flack for it, and some people are like, "That's awesome." Other people are like, "Well, I consider myself a real clinician." I'm like, "Well, I consider
yeah,
myself a
really.
real clinician, but I don't want to see like 100 people a week.
No,
That doesn't make me
no.
a real, a
A
real."
a real clinician. Before a real clinician, you or others would be a real business person, and a real business person works as much as they want so they can do the other things in life that they want to do. And somebody who's jealous of someone that that isn't required. If you wanted to see 50 patients a week, you could. These other
Yeah,
people that are throwing stones at you are they're probably forced to see 50 people a week, and they think it's some kind of badge that they work all this. So
yeah. Let me ask you,
I don't
what's
know.
the most amount of people you've ever seen in a day?
Like
when you were at like
in
some
this
job.
current.
No. I mean like at some
Oh, I
job
don't know.
when you first
I don't
started and you
even
hated it and
remember. I don't even remember
no.
because look,
Everyone
the God's honest is there haven't been that many long-term jobs that I've had that would be like that, where you would have to see six people at once. Now, there were times that I remember it because like, I'm not signing that. Like I've done that. I've said, I'm not signing that note. I didn't see the patient, or the PTA was doing some kind of ludicrous thing. Like, no, please stop doing that. Like, I'm not signing the note. Like, if you're not going to do what I ask, like this is, um, but I mean, look, when I was in the city, and because I was coming from fairly far, I mean, I've seen 13 or 14 people in a day. Like if I start at 5:30 and I
yeah,
don't
that's I
leave
mean
till like
that's yeah,
9, I mean,
that's
but
not bad. That's a long day.
that's on the hour. I don't I can't think of, like even when I in between the NBA and the Marine Corps, in New Jersey, they were committed to, at least for me, for my count, and I controlled my schedule. I didn't let the secretaries just randomly put people in, because there might have been times where I would see 4 or 5 people over an hour, but it would be like at 6 o'clock when they're all high school kids and nobody was getting manual therapy. They were all, like they were all just training. And the way the facility was set up, it was like you can coach 5 people at once. And I would also tell people like, Erson, if you can come at 11, as of now, I can give you an hour and we can probably be up on the table at least for 30 minutes. If you want to come at 6, you're more than welcome, but we're just going to foam roll, because that was how I chose to manage
Right. Well, I think most
that business.
practices, even if you weren't exclusively seeing athletes, are just get busier essentially like after a certain amount of time because most people just start getting out of work and everyone just starts crowding in and everything. Yeah, I never liked seeing
I
what I
don't know.
called like after teacher time, like when teachers got out of school and like everyone just kind of like just students and
Well,
teachers were all free. So
yeah, but I think it would be the type of, as we say, we just talked about a service model.
yeah.
If the
Well, I mean, I don't have
level,
that issue anymore, but I mean
yeah,
back, yeah.
yeah, like if the level of care, which I think these people don't even know, like they don't even realize. It's not like they're bad people and they're knowingly providing a very low level of care. That's obviously my opinion. Both that they're not
No, I
bad.
think yeah, I think most people don't think they're
Yeah,
doing a
yeah, yeah.
bad job.
I
They
mean, I've heard.
or they don't
I
realize. They
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. So then, as a patient is leaving and is going to schedule, the lady at the front desk just looks at where there's openings, and not having any concept that if this client or patient comes at 3, that they can receive so much more care than if they come at their perception of convenience at 11. Um, and I never had that problem. It's not like people didn't come, and it's not like you make them. Like, dude, I can only come at 11. Then I will see you at 11, and we'll do the absolute best. Now you or I, we don't have that issue. People, will come when they're told to come. Everything's on the hour or whatever. So, or
Yeah.
even if it was 30 minutes, you're not gonna like this. It was just like I also said, you could go the other way where you can make up your numbers, by seeing 5 or 6 people at once, because they're all just training. They're all just doing exercise, and you should, if you have the facility set up correctly, you should be able to coach people with good sight lines. So that's a whole thing, and I don't, I was told, not too long ago on a project that I was being asked to be involved in, that for the amount that I work, now I see more than 5 people a week. Okay, I got you on that. Uh, but for the amount
I'm shooting for higher now.
for the amount that I work, this company, that discussing equity, discussing some long-term projects, they thought that I was the highest paid physical therapist for the amount that I work, meaning like per hour. Because there's days that I don't even work. Like, I'll usually take, if everything's rocking and rolling, there's usually at least one day where I'm gonna not see anybody, so that I can jump into something at a moment's notice if I really had to. I can get on a plane, I can go see somebody. But that's a interesting comment, and it's very aggrandizing. But trust me, I don't own 30 in-network clinics where I'm clearing, $30 million. There's a lot of physical therapists that make a lot of money providing a particular standard of care that they think is cool, like whatever, they're not hurting me. And they make a lot of money, and that's whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even think they
I feel like,
realize.
in
They
a
don't
way, I feel like they're
realize.
helping me, you know?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, because there's going to be a percentage of those people that are unable to be helped in that model,
This
and they
curtain's like
will.
Doctor Strange's cape. You know, my air conditioning just turned on. The vents underneath it, it's like doing this.
You're gonna like waving it away.
Yeah. Let me ask
So
you this. Something has really bothered me, and I've only gotten a couple people's take on it, but like basically every 5 to 10 years in PT, and we can say this because we've been around for so long, that there's something that is like just cool to hate on, right?
all right, what is
So
it?
that, I mean, that current thing for like the last 3 or 4 years has been manual therapy.
Oh
And
wow,
and
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I get it because the majority of the people who are hating on it are not only like the pain science folk, which I love, right? I've always loved pain science, and that's great, but you can't only do pain science. And I agree that you absolutely can't only do manual therapy, but the majority of them are like these loaded only therapists. And I know that if you had to do anything and you're actually prescribing a great strengthening program, that is better than just pure education only or pure passive care only. But I just
yeah.
don't get the load it only. I mean, because I always just say, like, well, what are you going to do if someone walks in with like neuroscience, a foot drop, and a lumbar lateral shift? You just
Yep.
can't give them like a unilateral farmer's carry and expect everything to straighten out. I mean, you got to
I
do.
don't I don't know that answer, because I don't associate with people that have that thought process, and that's just more of a social commentary. You typically are in circles with people that have similar values and views. So I don't know. Now, I do know people that own many clinics and make lots of millions of dollars, and we'll throw jabs a little bit. But I knew him before he ever before he even went to PT school, and he only went to PT school, which at that time was one of these knockoff weekend programs, so he could get his license, so he could start to be a business person. So I get it. Now with these manual therapy folks, I don't know. Now, I was now one thing I say, like, and I think you know this about me. I will every year, whether it's a seminar or a book or something that I ardently disagree with, I will study it. I will dive in, and
Yeah,
and
you
I
are one of the only people I know who do it, and I respect you so much for that. You're also one of the only people I know who you go to like basics courses, and it's been so long since I've been to like the full series of seminars because I just
yeah.
feel like, and I'll say this too, like it's not like I feel like I've heard it all because I don't ever purport to feel like a know-it-all. It's that I want to be taught something novel, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want it to be
Um,
like more than a commercial model, which you told me that like the commercial based model, which you haven't mentioned it now, but ever since you said that to me, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, I always talk about that, like commercial based models, which,
Now,
like the,
to your defense, when it comes to some of those entry level looking things, I'm probably not getting on a plane and renting a hotel and a car, and all that. And I'm probably not going to do that course unless I'm getting the unique credit, for instance, New Jersey, which I am still licensed, but I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. They are ruthless in their approval of courses, ruthless. So a lot of really
I know I
good
just found that
things.
out. I'm teaching in New Jersey in
Oh
September, and
yeah,
it wasn't easy.
yeah. So that being said, I do that, and one of the things that I did was, remember too. Sometimes it's the other way. So now here's this topic that's fairly distasteful, but I'm going to dive in. And I don't think they do it anymore, but it seems like the lockdown was like 3 years. I mean, there's the whatever this pain science thing, and it was in San Diego, however many years ago, and it was, what the fuck was it?
Oh,
Cognitive functional therapy, um, and I can't even remember the doofus's name. because I'm allowed to say that.
But you're
It's my
talking about
it's my
the
opinion.
pain. You're talking about the pain summit, right?
Yeah, but this was
Yeah.
like a 2 day kind of like it was because I would always prefer to go to a 3 day seminar where it's a confined topic versus 3 days of you talk for 30 minutes and I talk for 30
Yeah, yeah.
minutes,
The
like
last time I went
a
to like a big
conference.
like conference
Conference.
with
Yeah.
you know, it was great because I saw a great cook be the keynote, and everything else is like snippets, and like
Yeah. So
snippets is kind
anyway,
of like, I don't know. I'd rather just watch a webinar.
yeah, I wasn't about to hang out there. So it was also probably more convenient. I probably, buddied the travel into something else. Oh man. I don't even want to say his name wrong to be disrespectful, but it was atrocious. And I won't say the people that I was sitting with because I don't know that they want. I mean, I know they agree with me, but I don't know that they want to be publicly, saying these things. They were also largely offended because it's like you listen to this guy talk, and it was just amazing how cultish it was, and I even tweeted that I was afraid to raise my hand because I don't even think I feel very comfortable that I could have contended, with whether I'm going to speak from a research level or just a heuristic. I wasn't scared of that. Like I wasn't sure of what I wanted to say, but that there would have been 78 other people in the room that would be like throwing darts at me. And I really felt uncomfortable. That's how awful it was. And this guy
I can't
was,
imagine.
no, no,
Can't
I'm being
imagine you being
honest.
that way. Yeah,
No, no, I'm
I
being
know, I know,
honest. I'm
I
being
know.
honest. And there was someone that saw that and they sent me a nice note that I thought was very genuine. I said, and I twisted it around. I said, I hope I never make people feel that way because I'm being honest. Like, I didn't, like, his interpretation of a strong core, which has, in his interpretation of the data and the science, was that has no value for pain or injuries or anything. But like that's not the only way that you describe a strong core. Like I've done seminars just on that, like what is the core? Because there's probably like 12 different ways to accurately describe it from different perspectives, all of which have value to solve someone's issue. So that was just heinous, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh!" It would probably be like if you're on one side of the political spectrum and you jump into the other side's convention. Like you're gonna feel like you're a mealy worm. Like you can't speak, you can't say anything. You're just gonna be attacked. And when it comes to pain science or the utility of manual therapy, there is a preponderance of like whatever level A1, whatever you want to call it, literature that describes exactly what happens when you put your hands on somebody and do something. I think one of your heroes in the APTA land, Chad Cook,
You
like,
always say that. Hi,
yeah,
yeah, I love
yeah,
Chad Cook.
like Chad Cook would probably be a resource to that you put up on the front line against these pain science jerk offs.
Yeah.
Um, and
It's
when it
not, well,
comes
the
to,
thing is, it's not only pain science. What I'm talking about are like people who only do like high level loading. And I get it because my whole point is like, yeah, you're a strength coach and a PT, but you don't see the utility of manual therapy at all, which I just think it's
yo,
like
who are you
I'm not
talking
talking.
to? Yeah, who are you
I
talking
know.
to? Like when you talk about, like, listen, I'm not this or that in terms of anything. I'm pretty confident that as far as, when this internet thing happened, 10, 15 years ago, yeah, I kind of was the one that started all that. And I'm not doing that. Like how, just because I've squatted 820 pounds doesn't mean that squats are going to cure every malady. Yeah, it's looking back, maybe that was pretty stupid of me to do. But like to think that it's only loading or only exercise. Here's one perspective. I'm the manual therapy guy, you're not, and we both the patient is happy and thrilled. Like it worked, everything worked, except I got there faster because I used manual therapy to create an opportunity for the nervous system to be more adaptive.
Right.
I win because I
Yeah,
got there faster.
that's exactly what I say. I mean, like when I see these studies that people post, like, with a great strengthening program, people with chronic low back pain on average get better within 6 months. And I'm like, who's gonna want to hear that if you do this, that it's gonna take 6 months when I can get the same results in like two or
But
three
look,
weeks? And
listen,
I'm still prescribing them strengthening programs, but not
that's
everyone
silly.
needs a strengthening program. Like I just like one of my manual
Yeah, what are you
therapy
gonna do with me?
fellows.
My back hurts. My back hurts. What you gonna do with me? Yeah, about strengthening program, right?
Right, I know. People can only lift so much.
Uh,
It's like same thing when people are like, "Oh, when someone has a tendinopathy, the research says that it's okay to load someone in pain." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're just a jerk." Like I remember I was teaching, I was working with some guy um, in Montreal who his like pro baseball player was in so much pain for like the entire season, and I just like did a quick eval in front of everyone, like live patient, like at my seminar. He was completely pain free by the time he left. I also didn't wail on him like he was doing because like this therapist was like the guy who was like overly aggressive. I'd already gone to past the point where I was bruising everyone and everything. Um, so I was like, hey, at the end, right? Your baseball player's better. I did it completely pain free. So it's the best he's felt in a while. I was able to play, practice all later that afternoon after I saw him, completely pain free. Are you going to go lighter on him? Are you going to adopt any of these strategies I did? And he's like, no, I'm going to be just as aggressive. I'm like, well, that just makes you a
oh well,
jerk then.
yeah, that's
Like
that. I think that's a different topic.
that is a different topic. But I
Yeah,
mean, so like
that's
these people
like
are just kind of like fixed on one thing, and I just don't
yeah.
understand.
No, I don't
Um,
know.
like you
If
can just
I
literally you can do everything
there
faster. It's
there
like a
was
cheat code, right? Manual therapy is a cheat code, is how I kind of describe it.
I get it. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think we should probably be hesitant to use that because then somebody will focus on the word cheat and
I
turn it
guess so,
into
yeah.
something negative. I
I
get
just
it.
mean like I'm being a geek. But
Well,
yeah,
no, no, like, but like there's if there was a on Instagram, again, I'm not going to say the individual's name, but they have been very disparaging towards me. I'm just saying that so that anyone listening, they know that my hands aren't completely clean on this. So there's like this, it's this rolling video of this manual therapy and cupping and needling and this flossing and the wrap thing. Everything that would fall into the category I think that you're talking about, like all these things are bad, and he put a curse word like that was this is S, this is S, this is S, and I'm like, there is such a preponderance of factors that totally happen that are like totally scientific and researched
right. Just
as a
if like someone
result.
prefers something and you actually have that thing, even if you don't believe it, if you give it to them, they end up getting better faster. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
pretty well researched.
like I have I'll say this, I'm not certified anymore. The level of biological merit the last time that I took ART was about as useful as nursery school. It's laughable to the what is being discussed in this education model, the amount of time over a 3.5 day period, and the actual verifiable nature of these statements is complete and total foolishness. Okay, so I said that. That being said, I will still use pin and stretch, and I have seen a lot of people receive treatment from ART and lots of really, really good things happen. So I think some of these models probably are purporting something to happen that
Yeah.
probably isn't happening,
Yeah,
and
the thing
that's the
that it's that's a thing that's not happening, right? And just because, whatever, manual therapy is placebo doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. I mean, if you had
uh,
something that's going to make someone feel
it did
better
something. Well, here's the
rapidly,
thing.
it's doing what I mean, the
I
only
don't
way it's
think
going to
it's
do
a
nothing is if the patient is actually unconscious,
Yeah, I'm
right?
good. Yeah, my shoulder doesn't do anything differently. Two things. Number one, I don't think there's any such thing as a placebo. I think I've told you that before. In my
Right.
opinion, there's no such thing as a placebo. You just measured the wrong thing. Okay, so if you're going to measure adhesions and you do this and a little bit of compression and a little bit of this and you go like that, and all of a sudden my shoulder is nice, and then you ultrasound the tissue and it looks the same. No, so you just measured the wrong thing because there's lots of other very, very important humoral factors that happen when you touch somebody. And maybe it had nothing to do with the kinesiological principles of lengthening and shortening. It had, maybe, you don't know, because that's my second point. I can prove two things. I can prove what I tried to do. That doesn't mean it happened. So if you ask me, yeah, I'm gonna pin this adhesion right here, and if I hold it in a certain way and I have them go from a shortened position to a lengthened position, I expect the adhesion to break. I'm allowed to say that. I am allowed to be wrong, but I'm allowed, everybody is allowed to say that, even though maybe to you and I, that may not be our standards, but my standards don't have to be someone else's standards. So you can prove what you tried to do. Number two, you can prove if something desirable happened. And that's where the peanut butter line comes from. If you spread peanut butter on somebody and their back is
Right.
not painful
You
anymore,
said this
you did it right. You did
in like
it.
our first YouTube interview before I even met you, and people were like, "Oh, he's arguing with you." I'm like, "He's not arguing with. He's actually
Not at
agreeing with
all.
me."
Yeah, that's so you can prove what you tried to do, and you can prove that something desirable happened. And if there was one wish that I would have to bring everybody together as clinicians, it was we just use all the same tests. And then how you defeat those tests is up for discussion. And
Yeah.
that's how people get better. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. And but that's kind of like how blood work works until, oh yeah, blood work doesn't matter. Really? Well, is it because blood work doesn't matter, or is it because the stuff that you like to do, that you're passionate about, doesn't get verified by blood work? You know, like,
Right.
but everybody else wants to do blood work.
Or the things that you
So
like to eat
yeah.
actually screw up your blood work, and you don't want to give them up. Yeah.
I honestly, Erson, I honestly don't know anybody that feels that way. I know they're out there. I just don't deal with
Yeah,
them
I mean, I
because
just see them because, every once in a while they actually share useful stuff, and I think that they probably load better than the average PT who doesn't prescribe anything than yellow TheraBands.
yeah, I doubt
It's it.
that. See, that's the thing too. I would venture that whatever their loading strategies are probably up for some significant review as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you're a total clown in one thing, I can't expect you to be a genius in another. Like yeah, it's just
yeah. Well, my thing with
that'd be
manual
my
therapy,
guess. That'd be
my
my
thing with manual
guess.
therapy, or anytime anyone reaches out to me about, hey, whatever, I did this, this, and this, and I always say, I don't care what your treatment is. I just care what you taught the patient. Or
Hey,
what are they doing
yeah,
what are they doing for home? And that's really all I care about, because you could be, the best hands in the world, but if you taught someone the wrong thing, or if you didn't give like the right program at the right dosage, then
yeah.
what do you
But
expect?
here's a patient today. Long, he had seen several competent individuals. So left side quadrant. Just basic. Like the, but it was a little bit more than you woke up that way because it had been lasting. It would affect him in golf, etc. So okay, yeah, like I did a couple of things. It was a little bit off the books, and then in those situations, I will always ask them to do their test, even if it's not like this highly sensitive and specific test. It's important to them because it's a meaningful test to them. So he showed me his golf swing, which wasn't quite the quadrant. I said, all right, so we're going to swing the golf club in a little bit. Let's see if we get better. So the first thing that we did was I put him down on the table, and the quality of motion improved greatly. I'm like, interesting. It still hurt, but he wasn't like guarded. And then I did it passively, and he still had end range symptoms, but it wasn't the same anymore. It's like, yeah, that doesn't even feel the same. I said, all right. So what did we do? We did some articular pumping. Now, particularly with those osteopathic techniques, there is a very clear expectation of what you think you're doing from a physiological level. Okay.
Right. It's very complex, lots of minutia.
Yeah, but like you can say it on an elevator, so it's not like you're just Reiki or something. Like it's very plausible that what is purported to happen is happening, and it is active. It's participating. There's breathing and there's active motion. In his words, 60 to 70% better. I said, okay. then I said, hey, stop before we, because he wanted a needle in his neck. And I said, I'm not against it. I promise we'll do it. But let's make sure that it's going to, what we're doing it for, because I'm not convinced, no matter what you tell me thus far. I'm glad it's better. But all we did was put some fluid into the tissue if articular pumping does what it's supposed to do. All I know is that he felt better. I said, here, lay down a second. And I put his arm, like, he's laying supine, so his arm is at 90 degrees. I said, I'm going to be a kettlebell, all right? And so remember, the dumbbell just comes straight down, but a kettlebell comes down and back a little bit, so you have to kind of lock in a little bit. So I put my hand up on him, and I act like a kettlebell, and he moves his neck around, and it's 100% pain-free. I said, in my opinion, you do not have a neck problem. You have neck pain. And I said, if you wanted right now, the rest of our time, I'd rather show you exercises, because whether we use a kettlebell or not, we need to use some strategy to load the shoulder blade. And then my explanation is like, look, you have muscles that go here to here. I can't show. Okay, here to here. Then you got muscles that go here to here. And then you got muscles that go here to here. The ones that are the problem are these. So if we are going to do any more manual therapy, don't use me. Go, let's get levator. Let's get the trap. But there's exercises that if you hold the kettlebell, all of a sudden your neck is deloaded. And whether it's a Turkish get-up or whatever it is, you don't even have to stay in that position. I don't care if it's a kettlebell. Load the shoulder to get the relaxation of these muscles that attach up here. It could have been all exercise. If I went right to that and I did this probably inappropriate, aggrandizing, spectacular evaluation where I just wanted to look like a magician, I'll be like, hold on a second, lay down, push it down, and all of a sudden his neck pain is gone. It wasn't. So now, what else did we do the rest of the session? I needled his levator, I needled his trap, and I needled multifidus of C5, and he's like, that's the best my neck has felt. But I said, listen, it's all going to be exercise. I'd like to mobilize his ribs. I'd like to do a bunch of other, whether it's Eldoa for the ribs or some kind of active drill there, so that the scapula. Now, look, I'm just describing what I thought I tried to accomplish, but I didn't need to use manual therapy. It was almost part of this diagnostic process, because I do expect to see a result very, very quickly. No one is going to tell me that that's not okay. This is an individual who's just said that his neck felt as good as it's felt, and I have no expectation that it's going to last. It'll last when he changes the collagenous histology of these relevant tissues by loading the shoulder in this position, and then progress to more demanding positions. So I don't have a better way to explain it than that. Like there's cuff me, like, hey, take me in right now if that's against the rules.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of knew, I knew what you were going to say anyway,
yeah,
obviously, because
but I would,
because you're on my friends list.
But I would love to see that piece of garbage that did that video that I'm referencing, or some of these other people that would say you should never use manual therapy. Let me see what you got, dude. And I would be happy to learn, because what I would probably do is combine them rather than just do one thing. Like
right.
it's,
Or you would just get there faster. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Like I might do the same thing, but I just feel like you just get there faster. I mean, is it okay to load a tendinopathy when someone's in pain? Sure. Will a patient actually be more compliant with their loading exercises at home if they're pain-free? Yeah. If you give them a window and a means of being pain-free, or as pain-free as possible, when you give them a loading strategy, they're more likely to do the loading strategy. That's it. It just seems like I said before, and that was my point. Not the point about is he going to go lighter, but my point was if you have the means to make someone pain-free, why would you not? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, don't just, in a way, you're just a sadist. I think I was like, oh, you're just a sadist and a jerk is what I actually said, because why?
You said that
to the guy who was treating
in front of everybody?
No. This is after everyone had left. No. This is after everyone had left. I am much better about stuff like that now. And truthfully, I'm grown up now. That's still Mickey, but I'm grown up. I don't do that anymore. Yeah. So I don't know if I wouldn't have done it in front of a class unless someone was really, really challenging me. And I mean, I've been teaching for over 20 years now, and I'm still waiting for someone just to be like in your face,
Oh no, I've had it. You
like,
want it?
I
You
mean,
want the
yeah, I mean,
story?
Perry Nicholson has
Okay.
told me about like hilarious stories too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, I smile too
Um,
much for people to get in my face.
nah,
I don't know.
this dude was a punk. Um, he had just graduated from USC, believe it or not. Shocking that a punk comes out of that program, right?
Yeah,
And
surprising.
it was really going very well, and we were teaching adaptations of DNS stuff. Certainly not a DNS course, but some of these neurological positions and breathing, et cetera, et cetera. And he was dogging, and I'm like, all right, man, whatever. And then after a couple times, I'm like, hey man, seriously. It would be like he wasn't heckling like at a comedian, but that's what his behavior was. I'm like, listen, man, why don't you show some respect? I got 15 years experience up here. You just graduated last week. And then I did expect him to be thrown out. And the person that hosted the course didn't throw him out. But so then it went on, and he's like, there's no way that's a valid technique. I'm like, what? And he takes out what appeared to be Tinker Toys. I had never seen a goniometer that looked like Tinker Toys. So it looked like a wooden stick. It had like a circle that it went. It literally looked like Tinker Toys from Toy Story. And I said, all right,
Another showing our age thing in front of the.
I said we're really gonna do this. And I remember because it was in Oakland, and Johan was there. Johan was the head athletic trainer for the Warriors. Mike Roncardi was the head strength coach. He was there. And it was basically, we were talking about why you would like I said, okay, this person, that's not a hamstring problem. That's a breathing problem. Like you in a toe touch situation. And of course, if you're trained at USC, you don't have any awareness of breathing and these types of things, or at least at that time, maybe they do now. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, you really going to use your Tinker Toys? Come on, go ahead, measure the hamstrings. And then I did the technique, and I said, go ahead, measure it again. He goes, yeah, that's a valid increase in hamstring, meaning his hamstrings got longer as a result of breathing, according to his valid measure. And at that point, I again expected him to be thrown out, but that was probably the worst of it. And obviously, if I remember it that well, it was pretty meaningful. But I think most of the time, people are afraid to do those types of things, especially if you're a confident speaker. But that dude, the fact that he was so young, or I don't know how old he was, but that he had so little experience. But that's like if I felt that way, think about like I'm at
Actually, you
that.
know what? This reminds me, the individual who thought it would be a good idea for you to teach that course in Buffalo
Yeah,
was when he first got hired by the company that we were both working for at the time. He would shadow me like several times a week to kind of get him up to speed on spine because I was supposedly the spine guy and he was like the extremity guy because he was all Gary Gray at the time, right? And he would question me in front of patients all the time, just like that. Like, oh man, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't do that. And finally, I was like, dude,
yeah. Well, look,
I remember having you know who I'm talking about, right?
I don't remember his name. He was very nice to me. I thought it was a good host. I thought things were
No,
organized
no, no,
well.
not the host. I mean, like the other dude, the other guy from Buffalo,
No,
who
I don't remember then. I remember a
his
bald
initials are
fellow.
CN. He used to have a.
Oh yeah, I don't mess with that dude anymore. I don't deal with him. I don't talk with him anymore.
Okay,
Um,
okay. I was gonna
yeah, there
say.
was. Yeah,
I mean,
there was.
he's really mellowed over the years. But I mean,
I
when he
wouldn't
was like
know.
a when he
I
was
wouldn't
new,
know.
he would
Yeah, I wouldn't
challenge me
know.
all the time, right in front of patients. I mean, I'd rather be challenged in front of a class than challenged in front of
Yeah,
patients.
but I think what in those types of settings, even if you're like a very good speaker and confident, like it's never easy to be in front of the room. It's not easy right now. Like this is going to get viewed by literally thousands of people. Like it's not easy to talk in front of, where people can judge you. And if you're that much of a prick that you feel that you need to further make it difficult for that individual to present and do their job, then you're a special kind of piece of garbage. Yeah, I that's why I say to people, like if you have like this highly negative challenge, there's two types of questions. There's inquiries. You cannot let me leave if you have inquiries. You paid for this. Like this is, even if you didn't pay, your time. But the same set of words with the same question mark on the end of it can also be a challenge. If you feel that strongly about challenging somebody, do it after the class. Like don't do it in front of everybody, because it's even the worst thing that can happen.
It's for them. It's for
Yeah,
them, right?
it's
It's not
yeah,
for, yeah.
yeah. I had it was Q&A, big conference. I was a keynote. I said what I said. This dude basically says the opposite. I said, hey, but he didn't ask a question. He just said what he said, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, am I supposed to respond? And then the moderator said, like, what do you think? And I leaned up against the podium that I wasn't using, and I said, well, I think that everything you just said is completely against everything we know about motor control science. That's it was later that evening. I had some drinks and I said some other things to him, which yeah, they just like tone of words, like can be. Yeah, I let him have it. And he approached me. I wasn't had no intention to approach him, but so I remember that was bad, and that was in front of a big room, and I felt so awful. And I remember asking people like, Charlie, you didn't say anything wrong, like you didn't like that. It was about him. He wanted to talk. He had somebody just blow him up, and his whatever his methods it was, and somebody said something different. Just walk out. You're allowed to say an hour of your time didn't have a good investment, but I would probably have words with that fellow if I saw him again, because that's just how I am. And then shame on me. I'm not a good enough person yet, but maybe one day I'll get there. So anyway, well, let's do this.
How are we gonna do it?
I don't see why not. Now
Okay.
you have now when I because a lot of people have asked for this and I have not done it yet because I don't really get it. But I put on one of the when we put the banner up for people to come on and watch. I said we're going to do something else aside from having a talk. And we have referenced a few times that you have worn this cool T-shirt, and I was the one of the few people that clearly recognized this as a Captain America T-shirt.
Right.
And well,
don't come after me, Marvel. It's not really.
Courtesy of modern manual therapy,
Yeah.
I have said T-shirt right here.
Oh, look at that! I see. I thought you were going to be wearing. Be like, oh, we wear the same thing. How awkward!
Because
How awkward!
no, well, number one, I do say courtesy. That's just something very important to me. People should also know. Even just recently, we have purchased several things from your company. There's a lot of different things that I think are very useful. You're not
Charlie
coming on here.
does not want comped things.
No, the point, well, the reality is whether it's comped or not, if people are going to listen to what I say and value it, then they should at least know. I think that's information that's important. This was courtesy of your company. However, we have made some significant purchase recently, and we're going to continue to make purchases because you make good stuff. You make good stuff, and it's quick. And everything is very, very good.
You actually use that Doppler, or you just get it because you thought
no, it's right there. No, it's right there. It's right here. Like what?
Right.
It's okay. Look, what do you mean? I just didn't buy it, so it's right here, and
right,
it goes with this.
It goes with the cuffs.
Yes,
the edge restriction system cuffs.
And I didn't jump on any of your comments on tendinopathy, but some of the groups that I have worked with, we have a run on some tendinopathies this summer, and we consulted with Keith Barr to see what the latest information was out there, and clearly using BFR for some of our more advanced guys was very, very important to us. So I do think having a Doppler is important, and especially when you're dealing with humans that are worth $100 million.
Yeah. You
To
just need to
spend.
do, you know what you need to do? You need to write, you need to use emojis more because when you write certain things like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do with this, right? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say what you actually said. I'm like, is he joking or not? Because it sounds
No,
like something that you would say seriously, but I knew you were joking because I'm like, why else would you buy it?
no, we have to have it. And
Yeah, yeah.
so that's mine personal. I will be using them particularly when I start to travel a lot. So that hotel or even in the
Right.
quick push-ups and
You could always
squats.
be challenged even in a hotel, right? That
Yeah, yeah,
I always bring my set with me every time I travel.
exactly. But I don't know. I just got into the habit of um, what it is. I have a lot of close friends that have really gotten into this Instagram type of thing, and it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what. The bottom line is that they would not be anywhere near some of these products if they weren't getting paid. And I find it really strange that people buy things just because someone says. Like it's so amazing. And if they actually, I don't know why they don't believe what I just said. Like I don't think I've ever bought something other than a wrestling T-shirt because I want to. I feel like whatever, if I wear a CM Punk T-shirt, I'm close to CM Punk. Like that's, it's not because he wears it. Like that's the only thing. Like I don't. It doesn't
I
mean
don't know,
anything
you
to
know,
me.
those endorsements sell though, right? They
No,
sell.
and that's why I support it. Look, if that's how you make money, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just never going to do that. Or maybe I would if they pay me some. I mean, I know what some of these people get paid.
Well, not all of us get
It's
our clothing for free.
well, that's different. That's different. All right, now I have been requested many times to demonstrate how I make my sleeveless T-shirts. So I am going to show you with Erson's eclectic shirt here how you will make the sleeveless T-shirt that makes anybody look diesel. Okay. Now it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt that I still lift a little bit, but I think if you put this shirt on, you will look more diesel than you do with the sleeves on. That's what I. This is the modern day Zubaz
You know
of clothing.
I used to be sleeveless all the time when I lifted like really heavy, and then my wife eventually said you got to stop that.
Well, my wife makes me do it. So all right. So you don't have to do this first, but if you fold it and you have a good enough scissors, then you can do both sides at once. Now, here's what you have to do. Oh, by the way, I actually have a very expensive scissor. You can see a little iridescence there. I looked up best scissor for cutting T-shirts, and this was what I got. So
Hmm.
I will probably
Maybe I
be
should start
able.
selling that too.
Yeah, it's good for cutting tape too. You could do that.
Right,
So
yeah. Yeah.
now
I
here's your.
have the ones that are best for cutting tape. See, I looked up for best for cutting tape.
Yeah, that must be it. Right. Hey, you have to make a decision here. Now, your first decision is, do you want to eat up any of your logo? Okay.
No.
So no. Okay, no problem. So now we have to now create an angle that saves the logo. And now the next thing you have to decide is how much you want to show up here. So you want to be, cranked, then you're going to get as close to the stitching as you can. Don't get the stitching. Don't get this because then the T-shirt will fall apart. You're going to have to send me another one. The $2 margin is going to kill you. So now the next thing that you have to decide is how low you want to go. So if you get it down to here, again, if you have big lats, you're going to be able to show a little bit. So we're going to start by
Man, you really
decide.
thought about this. I just like used to
Well,
cut them off like a I don't know. I didn't I
well,
wish I would have thought of folding it in half because it was uneven on both sides.
yeah.
Something so simple never even occurred to me.
This way it will be even. So let me see if I can get down here. Oh man, this thing is nice. Look at this. Look at this. I got this Osmo here, and I paid for it. How about that? Most people that
Oh,
said that
nice.
would be, yeah, they'd be hawking it. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna start like right around here. I could always go lower if I want. Oh no, you're not seeing my hand. Okay, so I am gonna start here, and then
Hey,
there'll be
what's
a
up,
big.
Jason? Last time I saw you, you were actually using my Osmo. Jason Holm is watching.
Jason Holm. Oh, is he in somewhere in the South?
Somewhere in the South.
Oh my God, he might have been at that pain science thing. All right, so I'm just cutting and no problem. Everything. Now I have to go a little bit wide.
Look how
Okay,
easy
so
they're going through that shirt. It's like they were designed to go through the shirt.
yeah.
Luckily, the shirt
Well,
is not, it's not a vibranium weave.
no, not at all, not at all. But I'll pay
Nashville.
extra. I'll pay extra for that. And now I'm gonna make a little left turn because I want this one to not have much around the shoulders. Okay. So now let's see what we got here. I might have to clean it up a little bit. I've got a little sloppy here showing you for Instagram. And I'm sure there's people way better at it than me. I have seen that there are like, what do you call, like little outlines you can put behind it. So now here's the shirt. And now let's see. I don't mind. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're going to do this. Okay.
This guy's been on a super soldier serum.
So now, there we go.
Well,
So
I've
now,
never shown my lat that much. Yeah,
so now we are both,
my arm's not big enough, and it's not big enough to
we are
fill out the
wearing the
shirt.
same. Now, I'll be honest. I think we should have taken off some of the logo, but I
Right.
did it the
Well,
way
I
you
mean,
wanted. It's
well,
your logo, so we
you
did
could.
it. We
Well,
did
you
it
know
your
what?
way.
Really, the E is the logo
Yeah,
because
well,
it's so
look,
many things, right? It's Dr. E, it's Edge, it's the eclectic approach. You could take off this. I just like this,
well, I'm
but
saying that like sometimes but like this process, you can do it the way you want it. And if you
well,
want, because
I
look,
appreciate the
sometimes if
saving.
you take off the logo, it looks stupid. Like it doesn't make sense. I think
Yeah,
this one would have made
yeah, it's
sense,
fine.
to be a little
Yeah.
bit like that.
This is not the logo. This is not the logo. This is the logo. So that's
Well,
fine.
this one you might have to do one side because I think having that diagonal there,
Yeah.
that that makes sense. Because if you just come in like this, it doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah.
Like now they're equal.
Yeah,
But you
originally
have that.
I had three equal bars, but then it doesn't look
This is
like
better.
Air
This is
Force One.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is
That's
better.
why I did
So,
that. Yeah, I designed
uh,
this shirt. Just like I do
and
everything.
now we're gonna put this stuff in the trash, and
Oh, you don't want
here's
to like auction off your Charlie sleeves?
well, should I auction off this one? This is like
This is something.
uh, oh, so Jason Holm wants you to keep it as it is. Listen, I'm in Florida. It's hot, and we're gonna put the sleeves off. That's how we wear it. So actually a lot of people were asking, how do you cut the shirts?
Are we
I
making
would probably
cutoffs? Yes, we're making cutoffs. Well, Charlie's making cutoffs. I'm leaving my shirt like this.
well,
I
it's
I work
I
in
thought
this
that'd be
shirt.
fun. I wore this shirt today to work.
I know,
So
but
they
do you wear sleeveless to work? You could pull it off.
no,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
no,
That's what I'm saying. I work in this shirt. I'm not going to cut off
no.
my.
Yeah, if I ever did, it would be like, all right, Erson, I'm at the gym now. I'll be there. I'm not going to be dressed professional. You still want me to come? And like that's the only way I would ever have a cutoff shirt. Well, no, I usually wear a golf shirt, tucked in. That today I wore a t-shirt
Tucked
tucked in.
in. Wow, I didn't take you for a tucked in guy.
Oh, no question. Because tucking in your shirt tells the other person that you're going to do something that you don't normally do because their time is that important. How about that?
What do people think of me then? I just wear
Uh,
like workout clothes. I wear a t-shirt.
hey,
My wife was like, "You go to work like that?"
no, like that's the right way for you. I'm telling you why I do it, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the best part, which is maybe a good lesson for these people that are against manual therapy. Don't worry what other people do. Like it has nothing to do with you. Like this
That's
is
why I was
uh,
wondering too. Like, who care? Why do you care if I do manual therapy? Like,
exactly, exactly.
you could not do manual therapy. That's great, good for you. But I mean, why do you care if I do it?
That's the best question that I think we should like
That is
I
the question.
if I had to do this with one of those pieces of garbage or sit up on stage, I say I'm not answering anything until you answer. Why are you worried about what I do? Like like why are you worried about what I do? And obviously that relates to a lot of things, but I think the reality is that you and many other people have an opportunity to help people, and if people want to help, then there's other people should not have like to say that you're doing it wrong or that they should not be it's unsafe. I don't get it. I don't understand
Yeah.
any of that stuff. So
Kind of reminds me
listen,
of someone told me like, how do you know if you're getting them better if you don't have them fill out outcomes questionnaires? I'm like, because they can do the things that they want to do again.
oh man, well, I mean, I don't even. When was the last time I even said the word outcome study? But that's
Right.
but well, listen,
Yeah, it's
I
been
know
real.
we had tried to do some things in the city, and it's not necessarily the right thing anymore. But I had mentioned if you'd like to do something together, in a couple months after football down here, where I think maybe in the winter, in the second, the second part of winter, I'm going to guess people might not be pissed off about coming to Florida. So maybe we start putting that together, and for I think after February 7th, because
That's
hopefully,
great because February 6th is my birthday, so yeah, it's always around
well,
that after
I'm
that time.
guessing. I want to guess that February 7th or the 14th is the Super Bowl, and I'm hoping I get to be a part of that again with the big guy. And but yeah, so at some point then maybe we'll get it figured out, and I'm sure the gym will be open in Palm Beach Gardens by then. The Fort Lauderdale location is, it's not gonna support a large area, but who knows what becomes available between now and then. So maybe we'll put that together.
All right. You
All
heard it here
right.
first. We'll be doing something next year.
We'll try. We'll put it together, and we'll make sure everybody from the APTA and outcome measures team and USC and
Yeah,
everybody that
yeah.
wants to, and the pain signs crowd. They're all invited, and we'll show them
Hmm.
all how to, and make sure everybody knows how to cut up a t-shirt.
Yes, exactly. That's the first thing they're gonna learn. Everyone gonna have plenty of scissors. I'll just
But
donate the shirts. Could all cut them up. I gotta I gotta start doing more BFR before then.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. All right,
Right.
man. We'll talk soon. Thank you very much.
All right, see you, Charlie.
Be well. Bye bye.